Three, two, one, and we're live. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of CampusCare CampusCare EdTalks presented by Entab, an exclusive platform where pioneers of education industry come on board to express their viewpoints on curbing topics related to education. Before I begin, let me quickly introduce you to Entab. We're a 20-year-old IT company engaged in providing matured and futuristic school ERP, CRM, and mobile apps to the top schools spread across India and help transform them from good schools to the great ones. In today's session, we'll be discussing preparing for board examinations 2021. That's right, there are no online examination, it's offline. Surprise, surprise. So, I introduce our lovely panelists for today, just in case if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so and click on the bell icon to stay regularly updated. Our first guest of the day is currently guiding Mount Carmel School, Anand Niketan in New Delhi as the Associate Principal. Under her guidance, the school has been ranked number one in India under top CBSE schools for holistic development. Ma'am is a mentor and a trainer for over 2,500 students and a staff of more than 150 people. So please welcome Roma Das, ma'am, the Associate Principal of Mount Carmel School. Welcome on board, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Kalra, sir, Mr. P.S. Kalra, the Principal of Vikas Vidyalaya Ranchi in Jharkhnad. For his contribution to the field of education for over 3 decades, Sir has been awarded with a Certificate of Appreciation from CBSE Chairman, a letter of appreciation for 2 consecutive years, that is 15 and 16, from the Honorable Minister of HRD. Honor to have you here, sir.
Thank you.
Moving forward, last but not the least, we have Dr. Jennifer A. Kumar, who is currently associated with Carman Residential and Day School, Dehradun in Uttarakhand as the principal. For her contribution in the field of education, ma'am has been honored with the Distinguished Service Award for being a progressive school principal. Uttarakhand Gaurav Samman in 2018 and Principal of the Year in 2019. Welcome on board, ma'am. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you so much.
All right, and I'm your host Himanshu. So, in case any of you want to know and want to chat with your educators, please put your comments in the live chat, and I'll give you a shout out. All right, so let's begin with our session. So, my educators, my lovely educators, my audience would love to know that all things have been planned to smoothly conduct board examinations from your sides, right? Like having examined 2 shifts. Have you prepared? Are you prepared? Of course you're prepared. But what all preparations you have done? Let's take it up from Roma, ma'am.
Um, with regards to safeguarding students' presence in school, definitely there are sanitizers, there are posters everywhere, guiding the children what they must do. It's been a whole year that they have been locked down, not knocked out, and they know how to keep themselves safe. They're going to be wearing masks, they're going to be washing their hands, they're not going to be touching their noses or mouth, wearing gloves. Classrooms are going to be sanitized, staggered timings, safe distancing. All that has been done from the school's point of view, and children have been sensitized.
Right. Kara sir, what about you? What all preparations you have done?
See, CBSE has planned its board examinations starting from 4th of May with reduced syllabus. We are expecting that by that time the COVID 19 situation will also improve further. It has already improved a lot. Further improvement is expected. Vaccine is already out. In spite of this fact, all centers shall be following COVID 19 protocols. CBSE has also issued a number of guidelines in this regard. Recently, CTET examination was conducted with over 40 lakhs participants all over the country, and it was conducted very successfully. Similar protocols would be there for board examinations also. And another very good thing which CBSE has done recently in their date sheet, they have given 3 to 5 days gap for each and every major examination. And where the number of students are less, such subjects have been kept in the second shift. so that the overall examination days are reduced. Since examinations are beginning in the month of May, you can well understand that most of the schools are observing summer break during this period. So academics of the other classes will also not suffer during that period. So all these things have been done, and rest, ma'am has already told us that children are sensitized enough in the past almost 1 year. They know how to handle themselves and how to protect themselves. So that's all.
So one question from my side:
Yeah.
Are you guys planning to give holidays?
See, since the session would be beginning from the scheduled date, so definitely they would be getting holidays. But these 10th and 12th class children would not be getting holidays because their holiday time would be their examination time actually.
Right.
So they won't be getting any
But
holiday.
apart
Others would
from that,
definitely be getting.
apart from these board classes, all the other classes would be getting holidays.
Maybe number would be less, number of days would be less. Okay, but definitely they would be getting some or the other time for their summer break.
Roma, ma'am.
You see, there have been no guidelines yet from the central government about opening schools for other classes, for classes other than 9 to 12.
Yeah.
So, since the guidelines are there with us how to stagger dates of examination for the other classes, we don't really have to worry about classes 1 to 8 at the moment.
Oh, okay, 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 okay. I just wanted that information to be honest. All right. So sorry, Jennifer, ma'am. For residential school, it must be a whole different ball game altogether, right?
Mr. Himanshu, there are two things different. First, of course, I just want to deviate a little bit from your question. Just a little difference is where Uttarakhand is concerned, we have been allowed to start offline and online teaching simultaneously for classes 6 and above,
Oh,
which we are currently doing. Okay? Now, where the residential students are concerned, the SOP has been provided by the government and the education department, which has been met. After we meet all those conditions, as per protocol, we have to inform them about it, which we did. After that, they come and inspect the school. So, 2 to 3 principals of other government schools come. They inspect to see that all protocols have been met. Of course, keeping in mind from our side that it should be 100% safe environment for the child to come for his, not only just for the exams, but for school every day. So we are having currently both modes of teaching going on. The child that can come to the school brings a permission letter from the parent, fully aware of the safety protocol that is being followed. So those children come to school. While they are in the class, they are being taught by the teacher. The entire lesson is going live to the child at home also. So both things are there. Where the hostel protocol is concerned, the spacing between the students, and not only just the students and their safety, but you also have to look after the added safety of the class 4 staff, the mess in charge, the kitchen, the dining room, these sort of added areas where the children are, including their recreation areas. So you have to meet with all the protocols that are supplied by the government. That's what we've been doing.
okay. Wonderful, Jennifer, ma'am. All right. In a quick yes or no, if I would I would love to know whether this came as a shock that examinations would be offline. In a quick yes or no,
If you're
Jennifer,
asking me, definitely not as a shock.
you were expecting?
Yes,
Okay.
we were expecting it. The only thing we are now waiting for is clear directions for classes 6 to 9 and class 11 also.
Right.
10 and 12, of course, is a clear thing. In fact, we have started our pre-board exams also, which are being done physically. So all the safety measures are in place
In
right
place,
now.
right. Kalra, sir, in a quick yes or no, did it come as a a shock to you as well? To you,
No, not to me, but definitely to some students who
students?
were expecting that online exams would be there, and there they may get some kind of help at home.
Leverage.
Right. So definitely to them it is a shock. And as Jennifer ma'am was mentioning, in every state, different guidelines are being circulated. Uttarakhand, she mentioned correctly that 9 to 12th. In the state of Jharkhand, they have permitted only 10th and 12th so far.
Oh,
And we are expecting very soon that 9th and 11th will be included in it with all protocols and other things. Okay, and ours also being a residential school, the way ma'am mentioned, we are also following the similar guidelines and protocols.
okay.
Every now and then, yes, of course, here nobody came to check whether we are following those protocols or not. But definitely, when you are running an institution, it becomes your responsibility
Exactly.
to follow all protocols. So we are doing that.
Roma, ma'am, what about you? Did it in a quick yes or no?
Yeah, it's not just about a yes or a no. It's not about students and about the school. It's the parent who are involved, and they are not. Many of them are not willing to send their children to schools. Is when you haven't sent them for so many months. Now, how will 1 month or 5 days or 6 days make a difference? Whereas we are telling the parents, it's only 5 days in a week that they need to come to school to write the exams, and it's
Yeah.
only good that they come to school and write the exams. So we are not shocked. We are prepared. It's the parents who have to develop a better mindset.
I'll tell you what, you're not shocked, but I have been talking to kids as well, but they are very flabbergasted by the fact that you know what. Um, on Saturday itself, I was having this webinar with some other educator wherein she mentioned, and from a very reputed school from Delhi NCR, and on record, ma'am mentioned that whenever we used to conduct online examinations right now since 1 year, I was getting a score of 95% plus above, 95% and above. And first time I thought something was wrong, but by the end of the third exam, I was pretty sure that something is happening fishy, right? So now when this bomb has been dropped on students that the exams will be offline, they're very upset. So but it's just that how well of counseling you can provide for them, so that to make them understand that at the end of the day, if you have attended online classes, you basically have grabbed the concept, right? And that's how it's going to be. All right. So moving forward, um, in your school, you must have taken a lot of safety measures, like and all the guidelines that have been provided by the government, and those guidelines would differ from state to state. How has technology helped you in managing and organizing all your pre-examination tasks, like managing the student data, registering of bulk, and plus admit card, generating tickets, etc., which I'm sure pretty much you would be doing previous to COVID as well. Uh,
Um,
who would like to take this? Roma, ma'am?
Himanshu, are you particularly mentioning classes 10 and 12, or are you talking about other classes in
Ma'am,
general?
other classes, let's include everybody, no? Because,
Uh, where, class, where classes 10 and 12 are concerned, the database lies with um, the CBSE.
right,
We have had upload data right from the month of September, we've been doing it. And so they have all the data. Admit cards, they need to print. Where we are concerned with our internal students, we already have a database. So it's not that we work last minute. It's a pre-planned, premeditated, well-conceived program that we have. So nothing really comes as a shock. Our teachers, yes, they had to get up quickly to get into the digital mode and start teaching, but we've all come a long way, and everybody feels that we must continue with the online and the offline methods simultaneously to suit a lot of people, a lot of students.
and do you think COVID, this is my question to each and every one of you, do you think COVID has actually helped your school to become more technological savvy or more technology savvy and susceptible to technology now? Kalra sir, what about you?
Yes, I would like to say that technology has come as a boon at the time of lockdown and post lockdown. See, the things which we were learning in months and years, we have learned in few days. Because without that, survival was difficult.
Right.
So, see, online classes in India, the country like India, we have never thought of prior to lockdown. But within few days, you must have seen most of the good schools, they adopted that, the technology was adopted, and not only by schools, but children, parents, whether they were using mobile phones as devices or they were using maybe laptops or systems at their places. They adopted it very fast, and now at least we can say that whenever some exigency is there, forget about COVID 19, whenever some exigency is there, we can always conduct our classes online. That those classes may be for 3 days, for 5 days, for 7 days, and even children are coming up with their doubts. They are more connected with their teachers. They have their fixed slots. They come up with their doubts, clear those doubts, and instantly teachers are available to the students. So that is what is the major difference between those offline classes and online classes.
Of course. And now Roma ma'am would concur with me at this point of time that अब अगर दिल्ली में pollution हुआ तो classes would be going online. Right, Roma
Correct.
ma'am?
Absolutely.
Okay, Jennifer ma'am, how did technology help your school in overcoming pandemic and post-pandemic era? Now when it's an endemic that we're sort of in at this point of time.
See, Himanshu, where we are concerned, we're lucky we've got a very good team where our computer department is concerned.
Pretty.
So, right from the 12th of April itself, last year, we started online teaching. So, it's nothing new. They've used different platforms, they've tried out all the different, including Zoom. They've even used WhatsApp initially, then they've moved on to the Google Classroom, the Google Meet, whether it is phone calls, whether it is video calls, whatever the case is. The idea is to use every single mode available
At
to
disposal,
make
right?
teaching most effective. You see, it's no more the case of teaching in a classroom where a child may be shy to ask a question. Now the child has the advantage of the confidence of his parents sitting close to him or in his familiar environment of his home. So the minute there is a doubt, they can come up with it. And the teacher clears it on a one-to-one basis. There's no case of, can you meet me in my free period for me to deal with your problem? There is no deferring of any problem. Solutions are given one to one and immediately. So, definitely, though it is much more work, our teachers have definitely geared up much more. It's a more expensive way of teaching because good phones are required, network is required, all that is concerned. But the teaching in many ways might just have proved a little more effective. So you've got online and offline teaching going on currently also,
Blended
as
learning.
I said earlier, and effective equally in both modes.
Wonderful.
So that is something excellent that's happening.
Wonderful. All right, ma'am. So my over the past few days since I've been having these conversations with all the educators,
Yeah.
one of the things which I found common for every school is that they have sort of modified their curriculum in order to make the students adapt to the environment and basically this pandemic era. For example, what I mean by that is that, for example, they want to give a certain exercise, right? They will
Mm-hmm.
try to include the entire family in the content of the exercise so that it
Mm-hmm.
becomes a healthy exercise for the entire family, like a quiz or
Correct.
something. So, will these examinations also have that shadow of those things? Or,
Definitely.
okay,
You can't separate one from the other. This is the mode of teaching that we've adapted to the whole year. So
right,
definitely the assessments that will be done will be based on the same. Where curriculum is concerned, even the ICSE board has cut down the curriculum for all the classes right down the line. So you are not just teaching that. You have to incorporate their home environment into it. It has to be more effective, it has to be more evolved, and of course, the entire family gets involved.
Right. Kalra sir, what about you?
See, pertaining to the syllabus reduction and all these things and the way we had been teaching in the past 1 year, definitely impact of this would be there on the assessment.
Hmm.
And new modes of assessments we people have learned during this period. When I'm saying we people, I'm talking about teachers, I'm talking about the students also. They have also learned that this particular topic can be assessed in this manner also,
Hmm.
which in normal school was not happening.
Yeah, was not possible. Right.
And involvement of parents, involvement of peers, and family members was minimal earlier, but now it has become prominent.
Right.
So definitely impact would be there.
Right. Roma ma'am, over to you. What are your viewpoints on the same?
Himanshu, curriculum has been dealt with, topics have been dealt with, innovative and creative methods of teaching has been done. But I am not happy at all with the assessments. We
Right.
have used Google Forms, we have used exam.net, we may have used various system of online assessments, but can they be trusted 100%? You give me a question to ask, I can immediately Google and find out the answer. Children have even cheated, I wouldn't use the word cheated, but they've been able to copy those answers so beautifully that they've answered questions not even asked for. These questions are available on the net. You give
Ma'am,
them two.
I'll give you a solution off the record when my team will get in touch with you.
Okay.
You have your solution. We have beautiful. I'm not bragging about it, but when it comes to technology, there's a reason why 1,500 schools are associated with us. And when it comes to online assessments, we have certain, lockdown materials, wherein if you minimize the window, the entire exam will be cancelled. So you will not be able to do that. Plus, you will only get set a timer to answer that question.
You can set timers, but fastest fingers first. Children have answered questions that they have not been asked because it's there
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
net.
yeah, yeah. So I'll also tell. This was my next question, to be honest.
Yeah.
This was my next question because according to me, uh, the whole I first of all, I'll be very honest. I do not concur with our current education system, to be very honest, because I am a product of that education system as well. But I believe that our education system has been there since the British Raj because they wanted admins and clerks, and since then this has been going on. So the whole idea, can will these assessments have that shadow of concepts, wherein, because at the end of the day it is the concept, question should be based on concepts, right? Like for example, in law, when I used to study law, we used to have case studies, and then based on those case studies, we used to answer what type of law will fit in that case study and what laws were broken. So these assessments will also have that, or it again the वही same गाड़ी चलती रही है अभी भी. Roma ma'am.
There is a pattern of setting question papers which are defined by a set of educators that sit at the CBSE or different board levels and they perform the questions. Right. So, as according to that, you have objective type, you have subjective, you have short answer, long answer. Children are prepared for that. So, we can't really, overrule the guidelines set to us, and that's how we have a model and we work with the model. So, and we also have to keep in mind students, high scoring students, so they have to have HOTS. We also have to consider low scoring students and set papers. I mean, a blueprint is made to fit in beautifully for every student. Not everybody will have the same thinking skills like the others. So, critical thinking, everything has to be incorporated.
Right. I can understand, ma'am. We are being politically correct. Kalra sir, what about you? Concept, concept. based questions will be shared, or
See, here we need to be little smarter. Though I agree with ma'am, she said that we have blueprint of question paper and we need to follow that. See, questions need not to be direct. Direct questions, you get answers on Google and other places. But if your question is slightly indirect, where the child needs to think, there less chances of using unfair means are there.
right,
So initially we were using direct questions, then slowly we started using indirect questions, and the child who has understood the concept, only he or she can answer that. So that is how we have tackled.
that's what exactly I wanted to say, because to make, and like say, to give a hypothetical situation, right? If there is a tree, the tree fell down, and what would be the diameter of the tree, and all those things that used to come in SSC examinations as well. I
Yeah.
remember the questions which I hated the most. So, Jennifer, ma'am, what about you? You think concept based questions would be asked?
It has to be a mixture. We at all times we must remember, as Mrs. Roma Das was saying, we've got students with different intellectual levels in the class. You've also got students who, no matter what the temptation is, will not do anything that they shouldn't be doing. You've got both things. Okay? You've also got the child where you can be as strict as you like. He will look left and right. He will try and use Wikipedia, which is very fast. You've got the fastest finger, as she was mentioning. But these things are there.
Right,
From our side, we have to try and assess a child. We are not trying to penalize a child.
right,
There is a very, very big difference in
right,
that. We have to deal with all the intellects. We have to deal with all the different kinds of upbringing. I mean, I'm sure no parent is going to tell the child to do something that they shouldn't be doing. But at the same time, there may be a parent sitting near or an elder sibling sitting near who might try and help a child.
instigate basically.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, whatever. But we cannot be blinded by it and treat everyone the same. I mean, we have to be general in our approach, encourage the child to do the best that they can. That would be the best assessment that we can give.
wonderful. That's actually. But then again, customizing the assessment and everything will all again prove to be a humongous and a gargantuan task. Don't you think so?
It is. But then we're doing it every day as teachers. There's nothing new.
True that.
As teachers, we are dealing with different
Touche,
students.
touche, ma'am, touche.
Yeah, every
All
day
right,
we're doing the same thing.
all right, all right, all right. I'll rest my case. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much, everyone. So, closing remarks from Roma ma'am, Kalra ma'am, and Jennifer ma'am. Roma ma'am, you being first.
Um, I would like to advise parents to take a chill pill, don't nag the students too much, have a conducive atmosphere so that the children will be able to study well for these board examinations. And closing sentences for the children, use all your senses. No matter how many reference books you have, reference notes you have, use your textbooks as the main text for the content and just prepare well as you have always been doing. Don't get nervous. All the best to all our children.
Wonderful words, ma'am. Kalra sir.
Uh, I would like to give only one advice to the students that, as ma'am said, that you need not to be nervous at all. Prepare well, eat well, sleep well, and seek help of your teachers wherever you need help. This will help you out in the examination. Don't be stressed out. Don't worry what others are doing. Focus upon your work. You will be able to achieve what you wanted to achieve. All the
Wonderful,
best.
wonderful words, sir. Jennifer ma'am.
It's important for you to prepare physically and mentally. As Mr. Kalra just mentioned, definitely eat well and sleep well. The only added thing that I would say for parents and for students, a little bit of recreation goes a long way.
Hmm.
help the child to relax. If you do follow meditation at home, maybe just a time period of 5 minutes in the evening or whatever time would help the child to focus better because they have studied. Everybody is going to come prepared to the best that they can. Just come, be comfortable, be easy. Maybe before you start your exam, you can maybe just close your eyes for a minute and say a prayer. Whatever you do, the idea is to be calm so that when you see that question, you don't panic. If you don't know the answer, leave it. You've got 15 minutes before the paper starts, which is your reading time. Read through the entire question paper, be calm, tick off the question that you would like to attempt last when you have the maximum time period left to attempt it. Attempt those questions that you know the best so that you do the best, you get the confidence then to tackle the next ones. And of course, all the best for the forthcoming exams.
Wonderful words by all the lovely educators. So, Bacha Party, if you guys are listening, remember, eat well, sleep well, repeat well, and you are going to pass with flying colors. So, khao piyo, ash karo, chill karo, guys. I know the exams burden and the pressure can be too much to ask for. You might be questioning that why it might be unfair. No, it's not, because if you know the concepts, if you've already attended all those things, then it's going to be a walk in the park for you. So all the best to the students from 10th and 12th who are going to be sitting for board examinations. So best of luck. And to all my lovely educators, thank you so much for coming and joining me in this conversation. It was a pleasure to have this conversation with you. Roma ma'am, Kalra sir, Jennifer ma'am, thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you, Himanshu. Thank you, ma'am.
Have a nice day.